Hello, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Sorry,
Sorry.
my computer's broken. I need to get a new one. My camera broke because I dropped it. So
No, it's good. It's
yes.
okay. It's fine. It's sorry about that. My audio for some reason all of a sudden just stopped and I was like, "Oh crap, here we go."
Oh. Well, good thing you got it figured out.
Good thing. Good thing. So, Danny, appreciate you joining me for today's episode. I'm glad your people reached out to me and very thankful for you to do it.
Thank you for having me.
So, I was sent your EP, which has yet to be released, which comes out on the 16th of this month of April. And I gotta say, man, I am one for supporting female artists and I'm always having new like independent female artists on. I'm always doing anything I can with these female artists, but I just think this EP right here is just something that a lot of the newer people aren't having out. And I really genuinely mean that because I don't think you're trying to, how can I say this? I don't think you're trying to mimic another person's success within your music, as I see a lot of times.
hmm No, I actually could agree to that. I think a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with mimicking others or emulating them
Sure.
because those people are popular for a reason. But I understand where you're coming from for sure. And I thank you for the compliment.
It's just, it just bugs me sometimes because a lot of them are like, you know, I don't understand why I'm not getting anywhere. And I'm like, well, you kind of have this Miranda Lambert vibe to you, have the same music, kind of the same lyrics. So people are just thinking it's a repeat. And a lot of guys are the same way.
Yeah. No, I mean, as a female, there's less spots in this town compared to being like a male artist. There just is. It's just how it is right now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like men can kind of get away with it. And it's like, okay. But like as a female, it's much harder because there's fewer spots. So I understand why a lot of people would mimic others because they think they're going to have the same success. But I think something that a lot of artists tend to forget is to just be themselves and just be authentic and write about what they're going through, not what they think people want to hear.
You know, I kind of find it that way as well because it's like if you don't copy someone else, then you're not doing what you're supposed to do on country radio. But if you do copy somebody, then you're just copying for the sake of becoming successful. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation anyway in the music industry right now.
Yeah, it does feel that way for sure.
But my goal, or not my goal, but my underlining, hypothesis is kind of like, how are we going to get out of this? Because for me right now in 2020, 2021, I feel that we are in a sour milk stage of music at the moment. Like kind of like the early 2000s, early 2010-ishes, where the music was just okay. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, I can agree to some of that for sure. I feel like there's too much music out right now, and
Right.
it's like overwhelming, and it's even harder as a solo artist to get noticed. Um, and TikTok's definitely had a hand in that.
Yeah.
And no, I agree. I think a lot of people just want to put music out for the sake of putting music out, and they don't really think about what message they want to give across in their songs. They just kind of like, hey, this is a good idea, like let's just write it. And I mean, I've even done that. Like I will say that about my song Man a Few Words. I That's the one song I've ever written that I've never personally experienced, and I'm kind of trying to get away from that in a way because like it's kind of a it's not like truly who I am, because I'm not married and I'm single. So uh singing that song like I understand a lot of women can relate to that song and they really like that song for like a wedding song, which is great, but that's not like who I am. Love the song though, like but yeah,
But if that's not
I'm
if that's not who you are, was that who you were at one time?
it's I think it's who I thought I was at one time.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely something I've been kind of struggling with. Like all this music that I've been coming out with was recorded pre-quarantine,
Mm.
and including my EP. So it's just so weird just listening to it and being like, wow, this is the old me. Like I've changed so much as a person and a songwriter. Um, and I'm just kind of trying to figure out who exactly I am again.
Mhm.
2020 definitely took a lot of us out mentally. So I'm just trying to reinvent myself. And I've actually been looking into possibly creating a group. So who knows where that'll go. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
I wonder, and I've always wondered this and just never had anyone on that said, this was recorded, almost a year and a half, 2 years ago before the pandemic happened. So you've known these songs, you've known them since ever you've written them and you've recorded them. But for a lot of people, when it comes out on the 16th, a lot of people or let's say a lot of people, everybody that listens to you are going to be, wow, this is new songs. But for you, they're like 2 or 3 years old. So I'm pretty sure now, before the release, that you're actually kind of getting sick and tired of hearing them already.
Oh, 100%. Every artist does.
Yeah.
We like it almost becomes mechanical after a while. I mean, except like there are a few songs I'll sing like live that I like really enjoy. I do enjoy singing Man a Few Words live. I just think that song has a lot of good energy in it.
Mm.
Um, there's, I mean, I don't think I've actually ever sang Midnight Cowgirl live because I wrote that like right before the pandemic.
Mhm.
So I don't think I've ever sang that out live, but I feel like that would be a good song to sing live.
So let's talk about your current single real quick, and then we'll get into the depth of a conversation here, which I love to do. So your current single right now is "Table for One, Drinking for Two," and so let me see if I got this right. And you wrote this song after a bad dating experience, right? And then you met the guy at a bar, and then you confronted it as love at first sight.
Yeah. Yes. That's pretty much how it went down. It was really weird because I don't believe in like love at first sight.
Uh,
Um, and uh, no, that was probably one of the weirdest experiences of my life. I've never had just like an instantaneous like connection with somebody before. And then obviously it went south. Everything happens for a reason. Everyone you meet happens for a reason. So
mhm.
I actually had the hook in my hook book for a while. I got it from an Instagram caption and I really liked it. And I just, once something happens in my life, that's kind of like the process how I write. Like I have some really good hooks and I save them. And then when something like happens, I'm like, okay, I got to write this song now. So I'm really in the moment emotionally with it.
Table for one, but I'm drinking for two. I'm a couple margaritas sitting with my single again attitude. I'm a more fun me since I said goodbye to you at a table for one, drinking for two.
That's a good concept because I never really thought about it. Well, I've never thought about it because I've never actually drank any kind of alcohol. But it's like you're at a table for one, but you're actually drinking. Bring this guy's wine over here. He's not here yet, but guess what? He's going to be here and he's going to be finishing off his wine. And I appreciate the realness in those lyrics because I don't think a lot of people do that nowadays.
Yeah, no, it's just that idea of, you don't need anybody. All you need is yourself. And I try to stay as positive as possible in my music, um, because I want to lift others up. And also at the same time, like if I want to lift myself up, it's on a lot of my songs, like it's almost like I'm writing them for myself as like reminders. And that's definitely my reminder song if I have something happens and a guy like lets me down,
Mhm.
no, I listen to Table for One. It makes me feel a lot better.
So how I want to get into this. So you said when a guy lets you down. So kind of what is the right way to let a girl or a guy down versus a bad way to let a girl guy down?
Let him down. I don't think there's like generally a good or bad way. It just happens. I think when you're like blindsided by it, that's probably the worst way, but you can't control other people's feelings. People's feelings can change real fast at a flip of a coin. Especially if you don't truly know who they are. So it's like I get more mad at myself than anything by like
Mhm.
trusting a stranger. So I don't think there's like a good or a bad way. I'm a very upfront person. Like if I would never lead somebody on, and I would never,
Yeah.
you know, make them feel a way that I truly don't feel on the inside. Never. I know if I like somebody the moment I meet them. I don't know what it is. That's who I am. Other people, everyone's different. But for me, like I just let people know I'm not interested in you and I never will be. I think it's just better to rip the Band-Aid off.
But that's a good way to be, because you're not gonna like you said, you may not be stringing this person along, but they may feel that
Well,
like
it's
a
like
feeling.
I was just I was just thinking about it. Is her name Lily Rose? But she has a song called Villain. It's like, oh, you're gonna make me the villain. And I was thinking about that today. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, there's somebody that's recently was interested in me, and like
Mhm.
is still acting interested after I told him I'm not interested in him. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not interested in you. I said no. And it's just like now I'm gonna be the villain if I don't, act cordial. If I'm more distant, I'm going to be the villain. Or if I say, stop talking to me, I'm going to be the villain. But I think that's just boundaries. People just don't understand boundaries either.
Okay, let's flip the coin, Danny. If you are interested in somebody, have you ever had someone say, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested"? And what was the pain of that? Or would you have any feeling at all? Or do you kind of just assume someone's not going to be attracted to you like you are of them?
um, no, I don't think I've never had anyone that said I'm not interested. I don't think I have. I don't really date very much,
Yeah.
so but I'm trying to think of can you say that question again?
Oh,
I'm
it
gonna
was
have to go
just
back and research it online.
it was just, like flipping the coin of, okay, I'm interested in this person, but they're not interested in me per se. What was kind of have you ever had that before? Which you said no, but
Hmm. I've had somebody, my issue is someone was interested in me at first, and then they just all of a sudden just decided they weren't interested in me at all. And that one hurt really bad.
that's kind of
Like it
confusing
hurt.
though.
That one was like super, no, confusing. And also, but I bossed up when that happened. I was actually visiting this man he lived in another state, and like I bought my own plane ticket there, like everything. Like I refuse to do that now. Like I was stupid and young,
Yeah.
so I go out there, and then all of a sudden, like I don't know, 3 days in, he just like refused to kiss me, and I was like, what? I was like, what is going on? And then he was just like, oh, I'm just not interested anymore. I'm like, all right. So
Well,
I
that
packed up my
means
bags, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm leaving. What do you want me to do?
either two
That
things.
was
There was
probably,
another person in the mix, or it was a friends with benefits type of situation that you didn't know about.
no, it was neither of those.
Really?
He just had, no, it was definitely neither of those. I know no one else is in there, in the situation, and it wasn't a friends with benefits thing. I think he had a lot of problems with connection after a really bad breakup like a year prior, and he had a lot of issues. So I'm happy it ended. Honestly, I think back on that and I was miserable. So
Yeah. So tell me, because you played Annie in the musical Annie when you were what, 9 or 10? Tell me, did you
Yep.
look like Annie? I mean, because you got red hair, but were you like that when you were 9 or 10?
no, I'm blonde. I
Okay.
actually just dyed my hair back to blonde because the
Okay.
upkeep of having strawberry blonde hair is just it's too much. So no, for Annie, yeah, I actually dyed my hair red. It was like box dye from the store and curled my hair for it. And I think I was in 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. Yeah, those were the good old days.
Yeah, but you're also acting as well as singing in Annie. So was it kind of, once you did that, it kind of got you on a high roll of, oh, I want to be an actor and a singer.
Okay, this is funny because I used to want to be, I was always a strong singer because I definitely got my dad's vocal cords. I can project
Mhm.
and belt. I don't do that as much anymore because I've really developed like there's different kinds of voices that someone can have, a falsetto and a head voice and all that. So really developed those in the last like 6 years. And yeah, so can you say the question one more time? I'm just go off on tangents and then I forget the original question.
No, you're cool. In the musical Annie, obviously there's some
Oh,
acting
acting.
that goes
I
on.
just remembered
Yeah,
acting.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I used to want to be an actress. Like
Mhm.
I didn't even want to go to college. I wanted to just like move to LA because I was that delusional. Um, and I feel like I could still act. I don't know. I feel like I could do it. And I do enjoy acting. I used to do that all the time. But I haven't done that in maybe 10 years. It's been a long time.
But I don't think you were delusional. I think it's just, and forgive me when I said, but a stupid dream. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You're doing a stupid dream right now because it's like other people would say, "Oh, that's stupid because you're not being a doctor, you're not being a veterinarian, you're not being something that's constantly bringing money to the table that you can live off of." So I don't think delusional is the right word, but stupid dream probably. And I think it's always going to
Well,
be a stupid dream, even to Leonardo DiCaprio or Lisa Marie Presley. It's always going to be the stupid dream that you're living.
yeah. I'm just happy I chose music instead. I think it's much more safer. I mean, it's still not the best environment for women, but it's better than the acting industry. Because at least in the music industry, you're not like forced to work with people because it's your music. I know some people get involved like with labels and have really crappy things happen. But what's so nice about the music industry is you can come out with music independently and you don't have to work with certain people if you don't want to.
You know,
So I just find it to be a safer environment for women.
it's crazy. You mentioned that, and I have a female friend, and she hasn't been on the podcast, so there's nobody going to be up here looking up who is it, who is it. But she once was going to sign with the label, and she was meeting with the head of the label, and she actually, the guy was like, "You suck me off, then guess what? I will give you this deal." And so they did it, and then she never got anything. So she tried to sue him for sexual harassment, but it turned around that she had no proof. And it was like, he wound up suing her because of that, because he was like, no, she came on to me to give her a record deal. And it was just a
Oh,
whole
God,
complete mess. I was like, oh my goodness, and it's crazy because it was
terrible.
happening in the 50s, 60s, 70s, shoot, even the 80s and 90s, and it's still happening today. Like, there's just so
Oh
many
yeah,
people out there.
it's just ew. That's all it is. It's just
So I want to know, when the plan for you to be a musician was on the back of a napkin, just the plan was you had it written down on the back of a napkin. What was your end goal?
I don't really have like end goals. I feel like my goals are constantly changing. Depends on the day, what's happening, situations. But my move to Nashville was 3 years ago. And I knew I wanted to move to Nashville like a year before I moved out here. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to sing. I knew I wanted to pursue country music because I had a breakup. And then like after the breakup, I just started listening to a lot of music, and I would go on really long drives, and I discovered Patsy Cline, and I just started singing a bunch of country covers, and I kept singing more country covers, and a lot of people liked them online. And I just fell in love with country music because I wasn't raised on it really. And
What were you raised
that
on?
kind of set like everything. Classical Spanish guitar, Celtic music. My grandma used to take me to Celtic festivals as a kid, and 90s alternative rock, like
There you go.
reggae. My dad like loves reggae, and I would be forced to listen to that as a child. So yeah, no, and then I lived in Detroit, well, outside of Detroit for high school. And, I listened to a lot of EDM at the time. That's when it was starting to get really big. And then I listened to a lot of rap music as well. I listen to basically every genre.
Yeah. It's crazy because I was listening to I was actually talking to a friend, and I was like, because when I was in ninth or 10th grade of high school, I think it was somewhere around my high school years. And we had to take music for you had to take it in order to graduate school. It was either that or art or something else. And I remember it was learning about classical music like Beethoven and Mozart and all these great classical artists. And I remember loving it, and just kind of putting it out of my mind. And then I heard Symphony Number 8, I think, from Beethoven, and it just brought me back. And now I have went and bought like 4 vinyls of Beethoven and Mozart because I just remember I enjoyed it so much. And then people are like, "You can't enjoy classical music." I'm like, "Yes, you can. You can enjoy."
It's the OG. It's like the original entertainment. Yes, you can. It's like ingrained in us. But it's funny you say that because I loved Moonlight Sonata because I was so emo as a teenager. I don't know how to play piano. Like I play by ear. And so I actually learned how to play Moonlight Sonata by watching a few videos and like playing by ear. And that's my one song I can play on piano.
So you mentioned you were emo when you were a teenager, like actual
Not
black
emo,
hair,
but like
cutting
I was like,
yourself emo.
no, like
Oh, okay.
just like just a teenager. An emotional teenager, like everyone else.
To this day, I still will listen to like heavy metal just because in my opinion, classic rock and rock is the best genre, besides country music. And I find myself listening to more classic rock every day than I do country. And I remember, I will listen to this heavy metal Ozzy Osbourne type of music. And I just remember thinking, there is no way I could listen to this every single day of my life and not go effing crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, like there's actually a few heavy metal songs that I like. I don't really listen to that genre as much. I used to be into rock music a while ago, but I don't know. I just go through phases in my life, and I save a lot of songs in my phone, and I'll just play them when I need them.
But what phase are you at now? What phase of music genre are you at now?
Let me look at my phone. Let's look what I've been saving.
Okay. I'll look through mine as well and figure out which songs did we just add. Let's do that.
I actually just recently got into, there's a playlist on Spotify called Dark Academia Classical. And it's just kind of like the emotions in like academia, like dark classical, just makes you feel alive. I don't know how I got into that. I think it was probably TikTok. And I was like, you know what? Because someone's like, oh, you should run to classical. I tried doing it. I don't really like running to classical music.
Yeah.
But I still love listening to it. And I actually found, there's a few songs in there I really, really like. you know, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Like if I work out, I gotta listen to dance music.
Yeah.
But if I lift weights, it has to be rap. Megan Thee Stallion, gotta listen to her. Then I'll like while I'm cooking breakfast, put on some cozy acoustic morning. I don't know.
So,
I'm like so all over the place when it comes to music. I'm not really in a phase at the moment.
you know, I was looking at my phone. I just added the new Justin Bieber album about last week or so.
Oh
And you know,
yeah, I was
I
listening to
don't
Peaches yesterday.
I remember in like, so he came out probably my fourth or fifth grade of school, maybe something like that. I was in fourth or fifth grade. And I remember if you listened to him as a guy, then you were considered air quotes a gay dude. And so you would never listen to him, you know. And then he actually turned that phase of being this, you know, this good looking guy into this mature actual pop singer. And it was not no longer the crappy pop music that kids listen to. It's now this mature music that you can actually listen to and enjoy, in my honest opinion. Past couple of albums.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoy his music.
Well, you're a female. Don't all females enjoy Justin Bieber?
No.
Really? I would say so, but I don't know. Maybe
Mm,
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I never listen to, I don't like actively listen to him, but I can enjoy his music. But I would never like go to his concert or anything like that.
Gotcha. So you mentioned, so are you a breakfast person? Because you mentioned when while you're cooking breakfast. Because I'm not really a breakfast person.
Oh, yeah. I used to not be a breakfast person, but just trying to get fit. Gotta cook healthy in the morning, so
And then just eat crappy the rest of the day.
no. No. Breakfast is just a very important meal, that's for sure.
I would disagree, but okay, you're scheduled to your opinion.
Yep.
Well, because that's, you know, the most important meal of the day, breakfast. You know, that was founded from a cereal company. Like I think it was Kellogg, and they were like, let's just brand it this, and then it was just became like a national bestseller. So it was like, eh. So what are your, like your not hobbies, but what's something that you have to do every day besides working out? Because you just mentioned that you enjoyed that, but besides working out, what's one thing you have to do every day besides the necessities of shower and brushing your teeth and that type of stuff?
Um, Singing, uh, talking to my best friend or hanging out with her. Um, Things that I have to do. Well, I don't know, listening to music. So like I just like, yeah, those are it.
What's the last book you've read?
I actually don't read. I listen to
Okay, well that
Audible
counts. That counts.
because I'm an auditory learner.
Mhm.
What was the last one I was what's it called? The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I was listening to that.
What's that about?
And it's just like it's like a motivational
Okay.
book, and basically it's this idea of like waking up at like 5 a.m. and just starting your day with a run and
Mm.
doing other things so you can just be more productive human being.
What's the last show that you watched on the streaming platforms?
Oh, Sweet Magnolias. I don't know why.
Is
Just something easy.
it any good?
It's an easy, careless show. It's just cheesy. It's
Yeah.
just something easy to listen to while doing stuff like cleaning.
Oh wow. So you're that kind of person that can air quote watch a TV by listening to it while doing other things.
Yeah, like I said, I'm an auditory. I learn like by listening. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but I feel TV is different. In my honest opinion, I just feel TV is different than being an auditory or a whatever kind
I
of
think the
learner.
reason why I can do it is, I didn't realize this until someone else brought it up, but not everyone visualizes, has pictures in their head when someone is telling them a story or they're reading a book. I didn't know that, but I do that. So like if I'm reading something or if I'm listening to something, I can visualize everything. I can visualize it all. It's like a movie in my head. So that's why I can listen to anything and just have a movie playing in my head.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how music for me, like if I listen to a song, I can just imagine a music video, or even if there's no lyrics to a song, I just imagine like a story.
Is it
It's really
wrong
weird.
that I'm a visual and an auditory learner?
No, I think a lot more, I think they said a lot of, well, I'm a visual in certain ways as well. But I learn best, like probably with both of them combined for sure. Because I would literally hate to lose my I think if I had to lose all like one or all of my senses except one, I'd have to keep my vision. I don't think I could live life if I couldn't see. I mean, I could live it, but I wouldn't be happy.
Who is your celebrity crush? Give me a male and a female.
I don't have celebrity crushes.
Now, yes, you
to be honest.
do. Yes, you do. Everyone
No,
does.
no,
Everyone
I
does.
don't. Then what's yours? Because I honestly don't.
Okay. Female Scarlett Johansson, without a doubt. I think she is the most beautiful person on the planet. Male, Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't have celebrity crushes. I don't really, I like don't idolize people. I know people think that's like weird because I have to answer a lot of questions all the time about like, oh, who's your idol and blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't have one.
Okay.
I don't have like crushes on. I would never have a crush on someone I've never met. That's just logic for me.
So you don't look at a guy that you never seen on Instagram or Facebook and be like, wow, that guy is hot or that girl is hot. Because it doesn't have to
That's
be a
just,
crush. It
I think
doesn't have
that's
to be a
more,
crush because that's just like you said. That's logic of you're always going to see another human being and be like, wow, that's a good looking person. Always.
I think everyone has qualities about them that makes them attractive.
True. That's true as
But
well.
I've never just like looked at someone and was like, oh my gosh, I would want to be with them. I've never, because there's so many more things that are important than over looks. Looks are like nothing compared to whether or not someone's good. And I don't know. I
Okay.
just don't care for that question, to be honest.
No. I'm glad you said that because I've been having an argument with my business partner and my friend, and he was like, a female, if they do not have a butt or boobs, then they are considered unattractive in his opinion. And I'm always complaining and saying, no, are those a plus? Sure, probably to most people, but I think the most attractive thing about a person is what's inside of them. Sure, are you going to come to them if they're attractive? Probably. But are you going to fall in love if they're just like a slob and they're snotty and they're think that they're better than you just because they're good looking? You're probably not going to stay with that person.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
Does that make
Very
sense?
true. Yep.
So I was reading over some of your stuff, and to kind of get your headspace out of the release of your first single, you went on a road trip to what? To go to the Great American West?
That was months ago. I went on a road trip with my cousin last year.
Right. Where did you go? Why did you do that?
Yeah, we started in, well, it was quarantine. There was nothing going on and no shows or anything. So I like travel, and we decided we would go see the national parks we've never been to. And we started in Monument Valley, and then we headed up to Zion National Park. And then we went up to Glacier National Park in Montana. And then we went down to Yellowstone. And then we came back to Nashville. And
Which
that
was
was
what was the
that was
best?
that trip.
What was the best national park you visited?
I mean, they all have their ups and their downs. I don't think I would ever go back to Monument Valley again. I think it's one of those things you see once and you're good. Zion, I'd probably go back there again if it wasn't so hot. We went during a heat wave. It was 122 degrees out. It was really hot. Yeah, we were in a tent, not an RV, so we didn't have air conditioning. I literally sat in the river for most of the day because I thought I was going to die of heat stroke. And then other than that, like, I thought it was really beautiful, and there's a lot of cool things you can do at Zion. There is like too many people though, which I didn't like. I think out of all of them, honestly, Glacier was probably the best because it's so expansive. A lot of the trails were closed. The only downside of Glacier National Park is the bears. The grizzlies are, I didn't see one there, luckily. I was really scared I was going to see one. But apparently they're just like everywhere. And that gives me a lot of anxiety. I just don't like the idea of a grizzly bear coming after me. Yellowstone was like, very interesting. I got really sick when I was there. I think it was because it was really high altitude. I think it's like, is it 12,000 elevation? It was really high up. And I get elevation sickness, and I don't know. Maybe it's the sulfur in the air from all the springs or stuff, but yeah. And the air quality that day was really, really bad. So I was like dying there. And we only got to spend one day there. We didn't get to like see the whole park. So I would want to go back there again, but there's just so many people there. That's the only downside of that place.
Yeah, out of
Yeah,
all
we're
those,
going on another road trip.
out of all those, I would not be able to go to Yellowstone because my whole time I would just be disappointed because I would picture a family battling a bunch of Indians over some land that they have, and they're trying to figure out whose land it is. So I would just be disappointed if I didn't see any of that.
No, you know what was really disappointing about Yellowstone National Park was the Old Faithful.
Really?
I think that we sat on a bench for a good hour and a half because they don't know when it's going to blow every time. They have an idea of when it will, but it's not on a schedule as much anymore. It's like weakened over time, and it's not that amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing.
I mean, I'm happy I saw it, but it was kind of lame. So
yeah.
but I'm happy we're going to way better places this year. We're going on another road trip for 2 weeks, and this time it's Pacific Northwest. So it won't be hot.
You're gonna go, like the exact stops you're gonna go.
Oh yeah, I picked everything out. Yeah, we're gonna see the redwoods. We're also gonna go to Crater Lake, and then we're gonna go to Portland, well, outside of Portland, and then we're gonna go to Forks, which is where they filmed Twilight, that Olympic National Park over there.
Okay, never seen it, but okay.
And then we are heading to, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to Seattle for I think a day, and then I think we're like in the Rockies for like 3 nights, and then we come back to Nashville.
So how expensive is this to go on all these road trips?
Not at all. We can't.
Really?
So
okay,
yeah.
so you're not staying in hotels, you're actually camping in the campgrounds or wherever, right?
What we do is, like, when we get sick of like being out in nature, like sometimes we do just like need to be in a hotel room for a night. We did that halfway through our one trip last year because we had such bad heat stroke. We had to live outside for like 3 days of 122 degree heat that when we like left, I was like, we're spending a night in Utah in a hotel because I just need air conditioning. It was
Mhm.
so hot. And I know in between this trip though, I actually scheduled like 2 days at a hot springs hotel.
Got you.
Just
Just trying to
to
mix it up a little
enjoy.
bit.
Yeah.
So just a little bit more here, and I'll let you go. What is one album that you have to have with you if you go on a deserted island and you're like, there's one album to take, it's this one.
Oh my God. Let me see. I have to go. I just listen to so much music. I don't have like, this is the problem when people ask me
So
my favorites. I don't even have a favorite color. Um, if I was
really,
on a deserted, I don't know how I'd feel on a deserted island. Like, what would I want to listen to?
that's the point. That's the whole point of playing mind games is, well, this one album makes me feel all kind of different feels. Makes me feel happy, angry, sad, depressed, joyful.
Um, you know, I'll probably Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves because it's
That's a solid choice.
light. Yeah, that is my final answer.
What is your um let's say, what's the one restaurant you go to and what are you going to order there? If you're not on a strict diet, if you're just going to be like, you know what, screw it, let's just go here today.
Um, Probably I would go to like an actual good Mexican restaurant,
Okay.
like real Mexican food,
Well,
and I'd get nachos.
but what's considered a good Mexican restaurant besides a bad Mexican restaurant? And how do you know if the Mexican food they serve is authentic or fake?
Um, Arizona has authentic Mexican restaurants where the chefs are Mexican, and I the food in Nashville is just so like the Mexican food out here is terrible. I'm gonna be honest, it's not good.
Okay.
It's weird to me. Like I've gone like in the Midwest, in like Michigan, for example, also they don't have, I mean actually there is one good Mexican food place, surprisingly, like near the UP, that's really good. I think that place is called like Red Mesa or something.
Uh-huh.
That place was really good. But it's kind of weird. Like, it's not like an authentic Mexican restaurant when you get nachos and they put olives on them.
Got you. Okay.
I
I
just,
got you.
why? Who decided that? Like, it's probably the same person who decided to put raisins and walnuts in chicken salad. Ew, I don't need it.
Well, I like black olives on my nachos, so I'm not going to disagree.
It's just such a weird thing. And they only do it like in the Midwest. I've never seen that in Arizona. Never. Nowhere on the West Coast do I see them putting olives on nachos. It's so weird.
So do you just not like olives, or is it just weird?
No, it's just, they shouldn't go on nachos. It's such a weird, random thing. It's like, I don't know, it's just bad. I just
Okay.
don't like it.
Well, now we're in a whole new conversation. What food does not belong with another food that is with another food?
What?
What food doesn't belong with a certain type of food that people have decided that this goes on a food? That
Hmm.
makes sense? Did I kind of make it make sense that time?
Yeah, and yeah, no, the only thing I can think about right now is olives on nachos. I don't like, who decided that was good? I don't know.
Well,
It's just so
my
weird.
answer would be mayonnaise on anything or in anything
Hmm.
or ranch
No, I
with
can't think.
pizza.
I don't know. I literally can't think of anything right now other than the olives on nachos.
So what goes on your nachos? Is it just nacho cheese or is it a little bit of hamburger meat, jalapenos? What is your
No, I like
typical nachos?
sorry. Um fresh made corn tortilla chips, and
Wow,
let
you're
her
not
salt
asking
it.
for a lot, are you?
Lime juice. And then no, I need some queso as well as cotija cheese, which is a Mexican cheese. And then brisket. None of that ground beef. Ew.
Where?
And
Hang on.
jalapeno.
Where are you from exactly? Because I've never had brisket or heard of brisket on nachos besides watching like the freaking Food Network places all the fancy people eat.
That's not fancy. It's just brisket. It's
Brisket's a
just tastes
fancy
better.
meat.
No, it's not. It is not. You know what's fancy? Filet mignon. Now that is an expensive cut of meat. Brisket, that's not an expensive cut of meat. It's like a little, it's not as expensive as other meats.
Well,
It's like the reason I like it, the flavor profile is better. It's just a better flavor profile. It holds its flavor really well.
well, I feel
So if
like
I get some like little shredded,
go ahead.
say, oh yeah, say that again.
I was gonna say that I just think brisket is a lot fattier than a lot of meats, so that's one reason I don't really care for it that much. But I do disagree with you. I do think it is an expensive cut of meat for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's just it just has a better flavor profile, and yeah, so I put brisket, jalapenos, cotija, queso, and black beans on there, and
Mhm.
that's a good nachos for me.
What's one thing that you have learned in the last day or so or week or so that you just had no clue about?
No clue about. Mm. Oh, my lights in my kitchen. I just learned this like, I don't know, 2 hours ago. I was just cleaning my countertop and I look under and I see a light underneath like the cupboard. And I was like, oh, there's a light here. And I didn't even know I had like lights underneath my cupboards. So I just discovered that.
Mhm.
Super random.
Mine is random as well, but I was reading Kenny Rogers' autobiography a couple of weeks ago, and I did not realize that the song "What Condition My Condition Was In" was a Kenny Rogers song like when he was with First Edition. I had no clue about that.
Very interesting. Learning something new every day.
Every day. So, as we wind down here, two more questions for you. The first one is, what is the one question you get all the time when you're doing interviews? You just know they're going to ask about this certain thing.
What your favorite album is?
I feel guilty to that. What about this is a two-parter. Uh one question that you know or one topic that you know you're never going to get in an interview that you just want to talk about, you're dying to talk about, but they don't ever bring it up.
There's nothing I'm just an open book. I honestly have no idea for that question. I can't answer that because I don't know. There's nothing like I'm dying to talk about.
Yeah. Well, look, I appreciate your hour that you've been on with me. It's really appreciative. Glad you people reached out to me and wanted you to do this, and I hope you've enjoyed your time. So
Yeah.
go ahead and promote anything you want to promote, social media, new whatever you want to talk about. The floor is yours as much time as you need.
Yeah. You can find my music on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora, whatever music platform you use. And my name is Dani Taylor. You can find me on Dani Taylor Music on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those other social media platforms. And I have an EP coming out April 16th, 2 more weeks, 3 songs. And you can pre-save it with a link in one of my profiles.
All right, Dani, one last question. I'm going to play a song in full. What song do you want that to be from your upcoming EP? It could be the current single, or it could be "Kiss Me If You Can," "Midnight Cowgirl." You can thank me later. Any of those. Which one would you prefer me to play?
Let's do Midnight Cowgirl.
All right, here is "Midnight Cowgirl" from Dani Taylor. Dani, thanks for doing this for me.
Thank you.
It's midnight, cowgirl. The bars are closing down. Last call on a Friday night. It's time for one more round. You can climb back in the saddle on the horse you rode in on, heading towards the sunrise in the desert you call